Hello and welcome to the Romero Threads YouTube page. My name is Ever Romero, and in today's video we are going to talk about a situation that every embroiderer will eventually encounter. Whether you're an embroiderer with 20 plus years or brand new and just got your equipment, some type of project stop, some type of malfunction where you have to troubleshoot, you will eventually encounter. And in this video I am going to tell you 7 steps you want to take care of when troubleshooting your embroidery equipment. Okay, before we start our 7 steps, let me first give you 2 prerequisites, okay? We'll call them A and B. So the first prerequisite is going to be have handy your owner's manual, okay? So your owner's manual, the reason why it's so important is because it'll contain specific information solely for your machine. Okay, so there's specific thread that you might need, specific needles. There's specific things that might change slightly from machine to machine. Okay, and not only that, not only the general information that they carry, but they'll have FAQs, they'll have a bunch of troubleshooting procedures. So, you know, they have pictures and a lot of stuff. So it's a quick resource, okay, that you want to read through before you even jump into any type of projects. Okay, prerequisite B, okay, that I would say is make sure you have your tension dialed in. Okay, so the way you get your tension, we already know, you do an I test or an H test. Okay, and what you're looking for is making sure the bobbin is set correctly. Okay, so let's get into troubleshooting step number 1. These are the steps that I go through. I like to start with the most obvious, the easiest steps, okay, just so you could check them off. Okay, one thing you do not want to do when your equipment or your project stops and you have some type of malfunction, and that's to stress out and flip out and freak out, okay, because the more you stress out, the more you freak out. Okay, the harder it is for your brain to kind of acknowledge what's going on. So let's talk about step number 1 in troubleshooting, and that is your bobbin. Okay, your bobbin area, and you want to make sure your bobbin is good to go. So let's take the GoPro. Let's look at our bobbin here. Okay, of course we know everything's all good right now. So there's a lot of pieces to this bobbin, okay? Okay, bobbin, you just want to take a quick look at it when you're troubleshooting your bobbin. You want to make sure your pigtail's nice and good. Okay, you're free from dust in here in this housing. All right, so your bobbin, of course, you already know. You want to make sure when you're pulling it, it's rotating clockwise. You get that double spin here. Good to go. Okay, so when you do it, you want to make sure there's nothing holding or kind of scratching up this thread. Okay, another thing, you want to make sure this area here is clean. And if you really want to be sure, you want to make sure you remove these 2 screws and clean it out. Of course, you should have a bunch of these compressed air, always cleaning that area. Okay, so that's the easy one. That's number 1, bobbin. Okay, let's talk about troubleshooting number 2. Okay, these first 2 ones, they're the easy ones. Okay, but they're like the Achilles heels. Okay, if one little slight error on any of these 2, it's gonna throw everything off. Okay, very common, most common faults that you will find. Okay, so the second one is going to be your needles. Okay, so let's have a quick look at our needles. Okay, the first thing you want to make sure is that the needles are facing in the correct direction. Okay, and once you know you have your needles locked in a good position, you want to make sure your thread path, okay, so you want to follow that thread all the way back. Okay, make sure it's not getting caught on anything else. Okay, there's a lot of moving pieces on this embroidery machine. Okay, so you want to make sure the thread is not getting caught in any location. Okay, all the way through the tubes and all the way back to its home here. All right, so there you go. That's needles. And let's get to our next one. Okay, so let's go to troubleshooting step number 3. Okay, and that is you have to analyze at what point you are getting this fault. Okay, at what point? Okay, because everything could be working good, but sometimes it's a certain precision or a certain point of your design that's giving us this fault. Okay, so in a situation like that, you want to pause for a second and analyze your digitizing. Okay, so you want to go back into your software and push slow motion play and see the exact point where you're getting this fault. Okay, because sometimes your stitches might be too tight, too close, or something. Okay, it is probably too thick, that area, especially if you're getting a needle break in that exact area. Okay, you want to analyze the digitizing. Okay, step number 4, I am going to call that check your immediate resources. Okay, stuff that you have that you should have in your hard drive. Okay, for example, that's where you use your manual. Okay, that's where you use any documents that you saved beforehand. Okay, the best time to research and start gathering information is before your equipment breaks. Just so when you do encounter some type of situation, you're not scrambling. Okay, especially if it's a time-sensitive job. Okay, so manuals, FAQs. So there's a lot of good information, PDF sheets. Okay, so I have a Ricoma, and Ricoma has a ton of thread break guides. They have FAQ guides. They have all sorts of stuff. Okay, so make sure whatever company you are with, okay, I'm pretty sure everybody has their manuals. And okay, key bonus, save other companies' troubleshooting guides. Okay, because sometimes companies might include small details that other companies don't have. So always look into other troubleshooting guides that might help you or might give you more information. A lot of the embroidery machines, they're all made the same. Like the science behind and the theory of embroidery is pretty much almost all the same throughout a lot of the different companies. Okay, so if you have different troubleshooting guides and different resources, it might help you. Okay, because one company might not talk about a certain troubleshooting that another company might. Okay, so in your hard drive, you should have your manuals, your troubleshooting manuals, and any amplifying information that you can find out there. Anything that you have can help you. Okay, it'll also give you a better understanding of how the whole system works. Okay, so for step number 5, we are going to use our external resources, such as our Facebook groups and our community groups. Okay, so whatever fault you have, whatever error your machine is showing, somebody has most likely 99.99% has gone through that same error that you're having. Okay, so the best thing you could do at that situation, especially if it's not so time critical, okay, if you actually have a couple minutes to come in and do some research, some quick research. Okay, so by searching your community, your Facebook community, or any type of community boards that you're on, okay, big help. Okay, so whatever error you're showing, type it in the search button, in the search box, and you should have different ideas or solutions that people have had in the past. Now, let's say you do search for whatever fault you have and you do not find it. So that would be a good time to type in a question asking for help. Okay, now since you've already done 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, you can include that in your question, okay, in your inquiry. Okay, you could actually ask, hey, I've done this, okay, especially if you have pictures or videos of exactly what's happening, okay, that can help. Okay, that's mostly if you do have time or you think somebody might have an answer to your solution. Okay, so Facebook groups, the search button, and need be, ask for help. Okay, so let's move to number 6, and number 6 is a very common one that you might be already doing and be familiar with, and that's searching YouTube videos. Okay, so a lot of time you could go into YouTube, type in whatever problem you have, and somebody might already have a solution to that problem. Now, the only drawback to that is some videos might take long. There might be an hour video, okay, where you have to actually search for it. The best thing you can do is create a catalog of how-to / troubleshooting videos. Okay, so if you already have one on hand, or if you bookmark certain videos, then you might have an upper hand in figuring out what troubleshooting procedures you should do. Okay, so number 7. Okay, so number 7, we're assuming that you've exhausted all your options. Okay, and you pretty much you ran out of ideas within troubleshooting. Okay, so number 7 is contact support. Like I said, I have a Ricoma, and we actually, the good thing about Ricoma is that you can call them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, they do have people, they have a staff out there, and if you can't get a hold of somebody, either leave a message or email whoever your support is. Okay, so depending on what company you use, if you have that available, then that's a big plus. So for our situation, there's been times where it's something more than just user error or digitizing or hooping. Okay, you're on a higher level of troubleshooting. For example, a circuit board. Okay, something as a circuit board, you might need support service to kind of swap out a circuit board. Okay, so they'll walk you through and they'll actually FaceTime you. Okay, so make sure you have your cell phone fully charged if you ever call support, because some errors are not, you can't solve every problem within 5 minutes. Okay, some problems you're gonna have to go through everything and check different boards and different circuits and make sure everything is working. So once you get to this level and you're calling service, okay, you want to have a list of everything you've already done troubleshooting wise. So that way you don't have to start from the beginning. You could let service know, whether on phone or an email, hey, I've done this, I've done that, I've done 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps. And that way they know what to eliminate. And a big plus is photos of what's going on, videos of what's going on. Okay, especially if it's making some type of noise or it's not doing something that it's supposed to do. The best thing you could have is videos and photos, so you can let a technician know exactly what's going on. By having a journal, on all your maintenance or any troubleshooting that you've done, it's a big plus. Okay, so by the time you get to number 7, then it's something major. Okay, or potentially something major. Okay, you never know, there might be something that you forgot to include, okay, in your troubleshooting, and a different set of eyes might catch whatever you didn't catch. And of course, there are numerous other troubleshooting, but if you have some that you want to include in these troubleshooting, go ahead and drop it down below, because we're all about learning and we're all about sharing information. All right, so like always, hit that like, hit that subscribe, let your friends know, let all your people know. All right, and like always, peace out.